Detail Assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our village pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
Can you give me a description? Ankles?
What'd
Hello?
you say?
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir?
Hey.
Yes, how far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down.
All right, well, let's get you going. Membership number or phone number listed on the account, sir?
I don't know the phone number. It's either Jerry Atkerson. I think it's Jerry Atkerson. Try that.
All right.
I know we have a membership, like guaranteed. I don't have
right,
the tag
unless
on
you
here.
have a membership number or anything, it's okay. I'll get you over to the captain. What's the best phone number to reach you at?
Reach me at 2.
All right. And is everybody on board in good health otherwise?
Yeah, everybody's
How many? All right. Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
What?
Do you need the United States Coast Guard?
No, we do not need that.
Why don't you want Coast Guard help?
All right. All right. Do you have your current GPS coordinates?
Let me go look.
If not, I can send you a text message.
North. All right, are you ready?
Yes, sir. I'm available.
North 30 degrees by 4672.
All right, 4672. All right, and you were breaking up a little bit. Can you just repeat it one more time to make sure I have it correct?
Sorry, look.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, what?
So you're breaking up. If you need assistance, do you have a VHF radio?
No, we do not have the VHF radio.
All right, well, let's try to get you going because you don't have good cell phone reception. Can you verify your coordinates one more time?
Okay, my coordinates are 30 degrees by 14.684 north, and then west by 88 degrees by 46.79.
Right, looks like you're on Horn Island, correct? Are you
yes,
on
we are
Horn
at
Island?
Horn Island. Yes.
Oh.
So you do have cell phone reception on Horn Island.
Right, is the boat sinking or you have it aground?
We were sinking, yes.
I want y'all to brace yourselves because there's a lot of photos and videos that's being shared out here that I would have to sift through and figure out if they're legit or not. Now, the first picture that we had got and everybody was shocked, it was the pool picture. They had beer circulated at the top. Then they had Nolan Wells staring at the young lady while they were in the pool. And that came out to be a picture that was shot June 27th, around that time. They said it wasn't a 4th of July picture. But there is a new picture that came out that I don't hear anybody talking about. And I looked at it, and I even tried to look at other Nolan Wells pictures where he had shades on and he wasn't smiling, as this picture shows. Also, this picture shows fireworks in the background, y'all. And it shows that this picture was the night of July 4th. I hope they sent this to Benjamin Crump. Me personally, I don't believe Benjamin Crump is revealing his hand with all the evidence that's being shared to him. I believe he's playing chess. So what I want y'all to do is I want y'all to analyze this picture. And y'all let me know, do y'all think if it's legit or not? Again, we're going to keep everything alleged. And if we're wrong, we're going to correct ourselves later on. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this picture. Make sure y'all hype this video. Make sure y'all subscribe. Check it out, y'all. Y'all take a close look at this picture right here. Now, there's some context at the top that's explaining the fireworks in the back. Check it out. It says same exact clothing from 4th of July. It says definitely nighttime. It says fireworks too high up to be a car. Maybe somebody would say that those are brake lights. Buildings on the land. Was this on somebody's social media or something like that? Y'all let me know. Have y'all ever seen this picture? Let's get into these reaction videos, y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, real quick, I'm going to try to squeeze this information in real fast. Now, all of you know I'm a licensed funeral director and embalmer. I'm going to speak about something about Nolan Wells. Some of y'all may be able to stomach it, some of you won't. It may be a trigger one for some of y'all. Either way it go, if you can stay, stay. If you can't, go ahead and move on. All right, now, Attorney Ben Crump and his office had released a statement saying that the second autopsy that was done in Washington, D.C. came back inconclusive thus far because when they received the body of Nolan Wells, the throat was missing. Now, somebody asked me to do a video about it because I'm a licensed funeral director and embalmer. And I was like, okay, fine. I didn't plan on doing it, but I'll do it. Now, when a medical examiner does an autopsy, there are certain body parts that are removed and examined for autopsy purposes, for records purposes. Everything should be written down. Everything needs to be documented. Is the throat removed? Yes. In other organs, yes, they are. But after an autopsy is completed, the visceral organs and all other stuff is placed in a biohazard bag, and it is also accompanied with the body of the deceased. So when Nolan Wells' body got to Washington, D.C., all of his body parts that were examined by the medical examiner or coroner in Mississippi should have gone with him to D.C. Nothing should have been missing. I went and Googled specifically in the state of Mississippi, is it normal practice for certain body parts to be missing after an autopsy and, and being sent somewhere else for a disposition or a second autopsy? And the answer that I got back was no, it is not normal for body parts to be missing. Under certain circumstances, certain body parts could be missing, but those circumstances are like if a person passed away from infectious or communicable disease, and we know that that's not the case. So under normal circumstances, there is no reason why anything should have been missing from Nolan Wells' body. And if for any reason they decided, okay, well, we have to get rid of this particular body part, that should have been documented and the information should have been sent to whoever was receiving the body after the medical examiner or coroner was finished with their examination after that. So I don't know what's what, who's who did what, who decided what, but there needs to be complete transparency about that. If there was any reason that anything was missing, there needs to be 100% transparency, ahead of time.
I lied to y'all not. Just last week, my girl told me that he was a funeral home director. I did not know that. I just found this out last week, y'all.
Service Sam here with a Nolan Xavier Wells update. And in Warren's interview, he says something very telling and very interesting. He says, my friends and I have been on the water our whole entire life. Stuff happens. People die all the time. But then almost in the same breath, he goes back and says when he found out what happened to Nolan, he was devastated because he had never experienced anything like that in his life. How does that make sense? He says we all know people who have died out there. But then literally 2 seconds later, he said he had never had anything like that happen again. I mean, this is so inconsistent. Like, this whole entire interview needs to be studied by the police, by the investigators, because I feel like the clues are within these words and his missteps and how he is relaying this story. He says, it was really, really hard on me. I've never experienced anything like this. It was really traumatic. So traumatic, like there's not even a tear, or you're not choked up at all. It's just, as they say, the math is not mathing. It doesn't take Albert Einstein to realize how many holes you could poke in his stories. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments.
And as much as I don't like that Tatum guy, and as much as I don't like what's going on, being as though that we don't have any answers yet, it was meant for him to do that interview, y'all. So people could analyze it and see how many holes in his story. Because remember, we not on our time, we on God's time, y'all.
The girl that Nolan Wells was allegedly with is speaking out, and there's some contradictions. Now, Katie is obviously cooperating with authorities, so is her sister, and so is the brother and the brother's fiance. They're also cooperating with Nolan Wells' family, and from what we understand, they're all on the same page, Katie and Nolan Wells' family. According to Katie's sister, Nolan Wells and Katie were on Horn Island talking, communicating, having a good time. Eventually, Katie was picked up by her brother and the brother's fiance via boat. The sister alleges that Katie mentioned to her, again, hearsay, but again, that Katie mentioned to her that her brother and the fiance picked her up from Horn Island and, left. And that Katie assumed that Nolan was going to go back with the friends that he ended up on Horn Island with. So again, Nolan Wells showed up with a bunch of people when he originally met Katie. Katie assumed that he was just going to leave with those said friends. It's also very important that we mention that Katie has been extremely cooperative with authorities. I know I mentioned it already. I'm going to mention it again. And very cooperative with the Wells family, answering pretty much any question that they have about what happened. So she seems to be very vocal, very confident, and very direct about what happened that day. I don't think the problem lies with Katie. I think the problem lies with something else and some.
For her to sit up there and answer every question that they got with confidence and still reach out to the Nolan Wells family and the so-called day ones did? Come on, bro. What are we doing?
I am prepared to tell you that I would, at this point, sign an arrest warrant for one or more persons for the crime of murder. I do believe circumstantial evidence leads me to believe that it is more likely than not that Nolan Wells was murdered rather than he just accidentally drowned. And I have come to this conclusion, and if it was properly documented and sent to me, if I had still been on the bench, I would sign an arrest warrant for one or more persons.
Now, he is a former Mississippi judge, and he said the way they get down is crazy. I don't know if y'all watched the Don Lemon show, but he was on the Don Lemon show, and he had two scenarios. One white lady left her child in the car, and the child died from heat. A black man did the same thing. Now, the black man, he was analyzed, he was crying, he was mad, you know what I'm saying? But he almost got prison time if it wasn't for him. They were trying to put him under the jail. Tell me why they didn't do the same thing for the white lady. She's out. They just let her off. So if anybody know how Mississippi get down, how racist they are, it's him right here. But that's the end of the video. Y'all get in the comment section. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that picture that was allegedly taken on the 4th of July with the fireworks in the back. Do y'all think that that's on that night of 4th of July? Y'all let me know, man. Y'all get in the comment section. And what do y'all think about this white girl that Nolan Wells was with on Horn Island? Get in the comment section. Make sure y'all hype this video. Big Kish signing out. I'm going, y'all.